as if he's saying something to me. Sitting on the limb of a tree, giving me a sound of sweet melody.
One on.
Start. I'm on. Well, welcome to Celebrate Life on reggae to reggae.com. And today we are still in our time management series, and we will be doing time management, doing devotions. And we looked at all the different relationships that we have got to put in a time frame in order to maximize our time. Just to give you a little background information, remember that the only thing that levels us as human beings, the only way we are exactly the same, is that we all have the same amount of time. Consequently, when it comes to success or failure in life, the only thing that determines whether we succeed or whether we fail is how we use our time. And so this is why this series is so important. Whenever I'm through with it, we are just going to wheel and come again, show it over again, so that you can all benefit from it. We started our time management series when we came back on the 23rd of November, but on the 25th we started right into it, and we are still doing it today. We did 1 to 2 weeks of looking at all the relationships that we need to put time to in order to have a balanced life. And those are, in their priority, our relationship with our Creator first, then our relationship with our family, then our relationship with our purpose, our calling, our career, our whatever we are created for. That's number 3. Then our relationship with our spiritual family, then with our community, our nation, and our world. That's the 7-step hierarchy. After that, we looked at how we are to successfully proceed along the journey to making these relationships successful. And by successful, I mean symbiotic, meaning that it is not just successful for you, but it is also successful for me. And any successful relationship must be symbiotic. And so we have to remember that as we look at relationships in life. Consequently, you'll notice I'm keeping my movements to a minimum. Consequently, we need to understand that those relationships are in their priority order. And if we move anyone out, we will disturb all of the orders, and it will result in dysfunctionality in all the relationships. So, having looked at the different interrelationships with all the persons involved in this, we then looked at how we needed to proceed. And in order to do that, we had to put time to it. Now, the amount of time is not determined by the priority, but the placement is determined by the priority in terms of what is most important. And it is your relationship with your creator that is most important. Then we have the relationship with your family, purpose, spiritual family, community, nation, and the world. So, having gotten that over and over and over and over, I hope you understand that that is the pivotal, foundational principle of success. Secondly, we need to now look at an actual 20-year plan because, like our Creator, all of His plans start from the end, the result that you want to achieve. And in His case, the result He has already planned and achieved successfully for you. Then He moves back. Back? Well, He doesn't move back or forward because He is I am that I am, always present in the future as well as in the past. We are the only ones who have back and forward. We are the only ones who have an issue of future and past. But He has none of that. That is why He is the I am, always in the present. Consequently, we need to learn to live always in the present. And so, like Him, we have to look at what we would like to achieve in 20 years and then bring it back to the present. And in that way, we need to do our 20-year plan. That's what we did on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we did our 15 to 1 year plan. What would we do at 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year? And then on Friday, we looked at what we would do in, that was day 3 of our workshop, what we would do in our next week, because we are going to plan our lives 3 months at a time by doing a 1 week calendar, just like we did at school. What subjects did we have at different times? But this is a 24-hour calendar. And then we looked at the fact that we needed to put in, first of all, our sleep time. Ta-da! That's when we rejuvenate. We take in, re-energize. Then we need to put in our work time. That is when we give out and interact with others who are giving us energy as we give them energy. Wonderful. It has to always be an exchange. And anytime you're in a situation where you are having to just give, something is wrong. And this morning, I had a breakdown as I thought about all the giving that my husband did before he passed, and the fact that those same people are not meeting their obligations. Enough said. We get into these dysfunctional relationships and we need to cut them immediately. Do not have a relationship with anybody who does not know how to give back, because it causes harm to you and it causes harm to the other party, because you become an enabler and they become a leech. They are the sucker and you are the sucked, right? And there are other words for that word, which is got good for earplay, right? So moving back to where we are at, you need to cut the dysfunctional relationships. They all must be symbiotic. And it's not the same thing that you're giving, you're getting back. So we did the 1 week thing, and we put times to our sleep time, our work time, and then the next time was our time with our Creator in terms of priority. And here, today we're going to do a breakdown of that. And that is why I'm dressed in my pajamas. Like it? You have to now log on to my Facebook. How do they get onto my Facebook? They need my address or something. Just my name. Just put in my name, go on my Facebook page, and you will see the outfit of the day. And you get a full view of my pajamas. And also, because I do my devotions in my pajamas, and I sleep in the pearls too. I didn't sleep in these because they will juke me. So I did a little upsy, you know, put on a little makeup and stuff like that. I don't sleep like this. Thank God. Anyway, moving right along. So remember that now we are looking at the devotions. But apart from the devotions, we looked at putting into the schedule family time, time for yourself and development of your career, time for your spiritual family, which we've talked about it being by email and by spirit to spirit communication, which doesn't take any time. And so after that, we talked about time with your community, time with your nation, and time with world events. And talking about world events, wow, what a funeral service, a Thanksgiving service in that stadium for Mandela. Oh, thank God for Mandela and all the principles that he passed down to us. May not just his soul rest in peace, but may we embrace those principles and put them to work in our lives, because those principles work. And those are the principles I am sharing with you in this time management program. So I'm sure we'll be having repeats of the service, because there were 90 odd, almost 100 heads of governments, countries represented in the stadium. And in the midst of the downpour of rain and everything, wow, it was really a wonderful experience. Reminds me of my husband's Thanksgiving service. You know, it's wonderful to go to a Thanksgiving service where you can just have a wonderful time because of the life of the person. There are no regrets, although they would say they had regrets, but they really did their best. And that's all we have to do as we journey. That's what Celebrate Life is about, helping you to do your best along the journey. And your best is only your best. It's not about coming first or fifth or 30th. There were times when I came 30th in my class when I was going to VAS. 30th out of how many? 30. I was doing my best. I'm here to tell you, but guess what? I was so sickly. I only went to school about 3 months out of every year. The rest of the time I was in my bed with this whooping cough, scarlet fever, measles, mumps, chicken pox, pink eye, you name it, I had it. But you see, when you come out of those situations, you move into a situation of strength. So we're going to go on a break now, and we talk more about that. So come back.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created Reggae to Reggae.com. We encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
I guess he's trying to tell me something that I should know about this new wind.
One.
Today, I'm having my master cleanser. Maybe I put on so much weight over the last. When did I do the last master cleanser? About 3 months ago. Well, I have the weight just crept on because I kept sneaking little bits of Christmas cake and ice cream and things like that. And I wasn't watching it at all until all of a sudden put on an outfit and the waist could not close. So I'm back on my master cleanser. And what is it? It is 6 glasses of cane juice with cayenne pepper and lime juice. And it tastes fabulous. What does it do? Every day I have that. And it cleanses you at the cellular level. But 2, it gives you all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the protein, all the chlorophyll, and all the enzymes that you need to sustain life and growth at the cellular level. It don't give you enough fat and waste, and it cleanses you at the cellular level. Consequently, you lose all the excess. So I am on this trying to get that down. I want to lose about 10 pounds in 10 days. And I will. I might not lose them day by day, but at the end of the 10 days, I know I'm going to lose 10 pounds. So that I can put it on back over Christmas. There's a method in my madness. Back to time management. That's why I'm managing my time, to make sure that I organize to be able to eat everything I want to eat over Christmas. Another thing is this, you see, you must always prepare. That is why time management is so important. You must prepare first for anything you want to do. And you can ameliorate the effects of those things by preparing beforehand. You can prepare for crises. You can prepare for eventualities or unplanned issues that just happen. You can prepare for putting on weight at Christmas. And the most important thing that you need to prepare for is the eventuality of stress, because that happens to everybody. And the way to prepare for stress is by overdosing your system on nutrition. What I do is I increase my greens from 5, which is normal, to about 8. I have 8 servings of green. And most of them I have in additional powder form or capsule. I just take Balamax caps or Moringa caps or soursop caps or guinea hen caps or neem caps. I have all of them. Or any other green liquid, chlorophyll-based liquid. And what that does is beef up the bloodstream, which is the life. The life is in the blood. And that is what is attacked first whenever there are any pathogens or excesses out there. So that's what I do. So that when I get stressed or the stress comes and it starts to push out all these chemicals into my bloodstream, all I need to do is kindly allow it to come through, because I put in extra. And so it takes out the extra and I'm back to square one. So that if I have a long drive, if I'm going to fly, if I'm going to do something extra or unusual, if I'm going to be under any kind of stress, I make sure I build up my immune system to the point where the stress cannot affect it negatively, right? Remember, we're talking about time management. How do you use your time? And so we looked at all the different relationships that we need to bear in mind, and we looked at how to approach them. We did the 20-year plan one day, year 15 to year one the next day, and the next day we did the 1 week plan. And now we are fine-tuning the different areas, and we have put times to all these different relationships, so that, and two important things is leave 2 hours on plan. And secondly, we need to make sure our first thing is to spend time in our first relationship. And that's what we are zeroing on today. I still want to always refer to the previous programs, because the 2 previous programs are like a foundation for today's program. Because yesterday we looked at knowing the times, and we spoke about the fact that God works in seasons and times. And if you do not know the times and recognize that time is always changing, and what are the changes that take place in time, then you will not be able to adjust your actions and activities to conquer the challenges of that time. We looked at Tevet, which is the year we are in now, using the lunar calendar. And you will remember that we spoke about the fact that this is the 10th month in the calendar that is used by the Hebrews, and the fact that things are going to get darker and then get lighter. Now, how do you approach things getting darker? This is a principle that we have to always remember. When you live in the kingdom according to the dictates of the operations manual, then you know exactly how to approach darkening times. Because that is what is going to happen, has been happening in this world system over here, which is where we have our bodies. Only my body is down here, because my spirit is sitting in heavenly places, just celebrating. That's why I have on my pajamas today. Anyway, and if you understand that when you are living, or your body is positioned in a place of darkness, you've got to use your spirit to move the body through the darkness, remembering that the spirit is what gives it light, because I am the light. Because the light is in me, and no matter what happens, if you put a light inside a bottle, I keep the bottle clean, a glass jar, it's going to be like a lantern. So remember, you got to keep the bottle clean, and then you've got to allow the light to permeate the darkness. So as your spirit walks your body through the darkness, then you will not only light your pathway, but you will provide light for those who want to come along with you. And that is our purpose in the darkness. And of course, when we're going to the light, oh, what fellowship divine, because then we can know fellowship with the others who are in the light. Where do we get the light from? It's inside of us. But it is in utilizing this word that we get the light. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. How do you use it? You take the actual word and you speak it over your situation, and then you act as if this is what you are experiencing, and then you will experience it. That sounds sort of weird, eh? But let me tell you what the word said about that. It says, calling those things that are not as if they were, and they will become. So if that's what the operations manual tells me to do, and this operations manual is about successful living, then that is exactly what's going to happen. And of course, we looked at how Samson used his gifts. And then we looked at how Esther used her situation and her gifts to show you how not to deal with challenges and how to successfully deal with challenges. So that's how we have to move forward. And the day before on Sunday, we looked at the unbelievable resources that we have available to us in the names of God. Please don't use these names only when you come into a crisis. You know, some people wait until they get into a crisis to always put in place what is going to cure them. Why on earth would you want to wait until you get into a crisis to apply the remedy, when you could use it as a preventative interjection, intervention, no, sir. You know, I do that sometimes. Anyway, moving right along. Once you recognize that you have gone the wrong path, oh, that's all you need. And you're back on stream. So remember, it's never too late. It's never too difficult. And we can always do it the right way, even after we have done it the wrong way myriads of times. So once we have that foundation and backative, then we are going to do devotions. And it's so important to understand how we get that set up. Now, remember what devotions are. Devotions, the devotional time is a time set apart to meet with your Creator and get instructions and have interaction, right? It's not about telling him what went wrong. He already knows. But guess what? More importantly than knowing what went wrong, he knows how to fix it. And that is what he wants to download to you when you meet every day. So it doesn't matter whether your day starts at 6 p.m., the evening, and the morning, or the first day. Or your day starts at 4 a.m., like me, the morning, and the morning, or the first day, or the morning and the afternoon, whichever. But that is very important, that we meet and understand that this is a priority. It can be 5 minutes. So I'm going to encourage you to do that and to show you how I move through my own in the next section. Soon be back.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created Reggae to Reggae.com.
a new wind that's gonna blow. He's a rain of the heat.
One.
Hi. Well, I'm just sipping from my glass, my stem glass. And you know, we just did or started a personal development course, Lisa Lake's Fall Family Finishing School course. And we did table settings and stuff like that. And I just remembered the part that talks about how to hold a stem glass. Guys, do you see that? You can cup it here if it's a brand new glass to keep it warm. Or you can do it like this. And then you drink from where your thumb is. No gurgling noises, please. And you don't need to swish around the ice in the glass. But that makes you Jamaican. So when I'm abroad and I'm looking out for fellow Jamaicans, I just walk around the cocktail party and watch for the person doing this. Swishing the ice around the glass, you know, is another Jamaican. Back to devotions. So here we are starting on devotions. And remember what I said when we just ended the last segment. It does not matter whether it is 5 minutes or 2 or 3 or 4 hours. I don't know how you could put in 4 hours and still do your responsibilities to the rest of your relationships. So don't be so heavenly minded that you are no earthly good. The purpose of meeting every morning with your Creator is to just have a little back and forth conversation. And most importantly, for Him to download the solutions to everything that will face you for the next 24 hours. That is the purpose of that time in the morning. It is not a time of penance where you have to grin and bear it, right? It is a time of wonderful enjoyment where you are downloaded with information about how you can live the abundant life of health, divine wealth, divine peace, divine love, and divine joy. And that is easy and possible once you spend that time first. So when your Creator says, seek first, we talk about first fruits. We talk about priority. We talk about, there's a reason. Why on earth would you want to go out to do anything along your journey without getting the instructions on how you can succeed? If you have laid out plain and in living color how to succeed, why you want to leave without it? So I'm encouraging everybody in your pursuit of doing devotions. You know, sometimes we say having devotions, but devotions are something you do. Doing devotions, you are actually coming alive. You know, you just wake up in the morning, it's sort of half dead, one eye open, one eye lock up. And then you open the other eye and you wonder if the rest of your body has been told that you are awake eventually, how do you come alive? How do you set your direction for the day? By having your first 5 minutes with your Creator. Now, as you have this conversation, you can decide whether you want to extend it or not. Because I'm here to tell you, anytime I meet up with my good friend, I will call and say, look here, I have to rush out. I only have 5 minutes, right? But, and then your friend says back to you, oh yes, and he said, oh yes, and before you look, half an hour gone. Because you are having so much fun. And that is how it works with this relationship. Because when your Creator starts to download into your spirit all the blessings and all the wonderful things that He has prepared for you for today, you don't want to leave until you get everything. No, sir. And it goes on, and you're just getting happier and happier and healthier and healthier and more peaceful and more love. So, don't think I'm joking, This is how my situation goes in the morning. I'm telling you. Remember, when He created me, He breathed into me the breath of life, and I became a living soul. What is a living soul? The soul is the area that really interacts with me and with you. Why? The soul is the area of emotions which interact with me, and relationships which interact with you. And this is why when the breath of life was breathed into this dead, static body, it became a living soul. And by living, it not only received life, but has the capacity to give life. And that is what our Creator wanted to put into our emotions with ourselves and our relationships with others. Now let's look at how this works out. Every emotion that I have with myself can be either life-giving or life-sapping. Every relationship that I have with others is either life-giving or life-sapping. And this is why we need to have the energizer put into us and encouraged and beefed up in us before we go out every day. Because if you go out and you are operating on low power, then not only will you engage those emotions that are life-sapping for yourself, but you will engage in those relationships that are life-sapping of others. Let me back up and say that again. The energy level at which we leave our homes or leave our place of devotion with will determine whether we sap our own selves, our own life force, or we sap the life force of those we relate to. Let's have some examples. If we look at getting out of bed and your energy level is low, by that I mean you don't feel good. When you don't feel good, that's low energy level. Where are you going to get the energy built up from? The Word. The instruction manual is what is going to re-energize you by giving you the Word. It says He sent His Word to heal me. He is my healer, He's my provider, He's my shepherd, He is my all-sufficient one. He is the banner over me is love. He is my peace. He is my joy. He is my all-sufficiency. He is my sanctification. He is my righteousness. Ooh, I could go on and on because we did a study in when I was doing some course or the other. 460 names of God. That is what you call El Shaddai. All the different breasts. All of them supply something more, something different. So when you get yourself closeted for even 5 minutes and remind yourself of what you have available to you, then it means that you are ready to go. Your energy level will be brought up. So instead of thinking pain, fear, guilt, shame, depression, anxiety, you are now thinking love, anticipation, peace, joy, hope. And that is how you are going to, first of all, energize yourself. Don't leave your house with low energy. Because guess what? That's what you're going to do to everybody else out there. Do not leave your house until you are properly energized. This is why that time is so important, because that is how you prepare yourself for the challenges that you will face and giving yourself a positive mental attitude to deal with them. Like this morning when I had that breakdown, right? You know, I was bawling so loud, my neighbor had to come over and said, "What is the matter?" I said, "It's so them treating me just because my husband dead." I said, and she said, "Hush, man. You need to call them and talk to them exactly how you say it. No, so they understand what they are doing to you." I said, "No. You see why I'm crying? I'm crying because I'm angry. I'm not crying because I don't have. I am crying because I'm angry. And I'm going to stop right away. Because I have everything I need. It is supplied by my Creator. So my crying is just to, get off whatever, frustration." And in tutus, I was fixing up my hair, putting on my pretty pajamas, and getting ready for the show. Because I know, like I know, that all my needs will always be supplied. So no matter when we book me to, or whoever says or does anything against me, they are the only ones who are going to lose. Because I have what should I say now? I have a place that I can run into, that secret place of the Most High. And I abide under the shadow of the Almighty. You got to do it every morning. And so that's how you start the thing. And as you go out to interact with others, then you will be a force of positive energy to tell them how to use this same principle in their situation to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. So come back.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com.
cancer, whatever it is, we can show you how to get your natural defenses up so that your bodies will deal with your condition. Join us as our studio audience on reggae2reggae.com when we will teach you how to celebrate every moment of your life. Call us at 336 7350 for information, limited space.
Coming down on my people, taking the goodness of life and rendering them evil. You see, the little that they gave you was just to deceive you. Don't tell me that you were blind. Don't let the devil fool you. Oh, oh, yeah. Somehow I know.
One. On.
Hi, how are you today? I was just looking up a hat rack across here and I said, I wonder which one of these hats would fit my outfit. But guess what? I actually cut out the tops of these hats so they could fit over my thing, but it can't work with it. What you talk about? Listen to me. I bought all of these hats, and guess what? They were too tight. Every time I put them on, I got a headache. So I said, I had them for years. And one day I got up and I said, something? There must be a way to get this thing not to hurt me and also be still used. So I got the idea of cutting out the top. And about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And I just cut out the top of all of them. So now I can wear it like this. Where did I got this idea from? In my devotions. Oh dear. Boy. Okay. I put this back on my hat stand. And then I need to put back my chopsticks. Anytime I go to the Chinese restaurant, even though I'm not eating with the chopsticks, my husband taught me how to do it. I just said to them, may I have a pair of chopsticks, please? And I take the chopsticks and put them in my bag. So I can have them to put in my hair. Yeah, man. Well, moving right along. Time management. That's how you manage your time. You use every opportunity to get the maximum you can out of it. So anytime you go to those places and they say, would you like so and so? It's complimentary. Say yes. Because even if you don't want it, you can carry it and give it to somebody else. Tanya put on a hat. That is what happens when you put on hats, All of a sudden I get hot. Hot because I had on my hat. It ain't pointing to me, please. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. So we spoke about coming alive. Once the light is in you and He breathed into me the breath of life and I became a living soul so that I could interact with myself with positive emotions and interact with others in positive relationships. That is the reason why we need to closet ourselves every morning. As little as 5 minutes will do it. And then once we come out, then we realize that once you spend that time first, you know what the word says? He is ever present in our midst. But you have to make that first step to invite Him to be ever present in your midst. That's in Leviticus chapter 26, verse 12. It says, He is ever present in our midst. Why? So that when we face a challenge and our back is against the wall and you don't know what to do, He says He is looking around the whole world, trying to find His children who are in a problem to show Himself strong on your behalf. So that is why you need to spend that time doing devotions, I will be your God and you will be my people. My response to God's invitation is coming into covenant relationship, accepting God's word and responding with love and generosity. Now, how do you respond if you have accepted God's word? How do you respond if you have accepted God's word? You know, a lot of people come after, you ever hear people after a service or a sermon or what have you, and they say, why, what a good sermon. We had a wonderful praise and worship. All this commentary about what happened. If it was so good, if it was so wonderful, how has your lifestyle changed? Mouth make for talk. So we say in Jamaica, mouth make for talk. We can say anything. We can promise this and promise that. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating, where the rubber meets the road. How have your actions changed as a result of what you have heard and what you have gleaned and what has been offered to you? Remember, the ultimate blessing that has been passed on to us as persons who have chosen to live in this kingdom, in spite of the darkness in which our bodies find themselves, is be fruitful and multiply and replenish the whole earth. That is the blessing that has been conferred on us. That is our great commission. And that is what the resources that have been given to us are for. Being fruitful, multiplying, and replenishing the whole earth. How are you going to do that if you don't get the energy, the resources, the abilities, the wherewithal from that time that you spend every morning with your Creator? Listen to me. There are so many things to do. I have to sit down and download all day. All morning, should I say. That's why I try to start by downloading at 4 o'clock, because if I don't start at 4 o'clock, remember what I said. My response to God's invitation is to come into covenant relationship, because it is only then that I can really embrace, engage, and fully utilize all that He has to offer. I have to come to a place where it's a covenant. You give me this, I give you this. I wonder which one comes first. It's always His own. He's always given to us, even when we don't return it. Isn't that wonderful? So we need to remember that it is our responsibility to respond, because the gifts are always being showered on us. What is your response? As you live in the blessing, our 4 rules of Celebrate Life are: know where you're going. You see, in this relationship, just know where you're going. You're going to a place where you're going to get everything that you need. 2, know your driver. He has all the capabilities. 3, Pay as you enter. Put in your part. And guess what your part is? A zero. Becoming a zero. Because when you become a zero, you have most value. Because every time you put a zero and a zero and a zero and a zero behind anything, it becomes exponentially so much bigger. And then the last thing about being a zero is that it means that there's nothing bugging up the flow. And so you don't put any of yourself in there. Consequently, you have a situation where all of the goodness of God can gush through you and go out to our world, responding with love and generosity to everybody around. Because once you do that, it keeps the flow going. So I have so much things to give away all the time. Even though so many people owe me money. And living in his blessing 24/7 is enjoying the ride, which is our rule number 4. Whatever you're doing, you must enjoy it. Even when you cry, you have to enjoy it, because right as soon as you finish, you know that you are always overwhelmed by the goodness, love, mercy, and grace of God. And what are you being led into? The opportunity to live not just in divine health, but divine healing. Not just in divine wealth, but continuous provision. Not just looking at every situation from a position of peace or shalom, but the assurance that everything is presently and will be in the future in upright, perfect order, nothing missing, nothing broken. And then knowing that you can live in loving relationships with all those around you. Those who treat you bad, those who treat you good. Relatives, friends, workmates, teammates, miscellaneous people in your ambit. Whoever comes close to you, you can live in loving relationships with them. And then, of course, all of them put together is that you can live with joy. Joy that comes from inside. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And absolutely nothing can change that. So that's the benefit of doing 5 minutes of devotions in the morning. So as we leave, I want to lead us in a prayer. And I want you to join with me. That's why I put my lion right out here. The Lion of Judah shall break every yoke and bring us into the place where we can really experience the goodness of God 24/7. Let us pray. Living God, there is no life apart from you. Help me to respond wholeheartedly to your invitation to be yours and to live in relationship with you. Thank you, Lord. Remember that this is about my relationship with my Creator. It's about your relationship with your Creator. And the choice is yours. Make sure that today, now, you make that choice to do that exchange. 0 for abundance of everything that you need for life and godliness. So, until tomorrow, it's Celebrate Life from reggae to reggae.com. See you soon.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1890,